Mark's words were a beacon of hope in the suffocating darkness that had enveloped Bella. Relief washed over her, so intense it almost knocked her off her feet. But even as she clung to it, a sliver of doubt remained. Could Mark truly believe her fantastical story of an invisible monster and a scientific mishap gone horribly wrong? As Mark fumbled with a heavy pair of bolt cutters, his face etched with concern, Bella saw a flicker of something else in his eyes, a flicker of fear, a chilling recognition of the truth in her words. The clanging of the bolt cutters echoed through the deserted hallway, a symphony of hope. With trembling hands, Mark pried open the rusted lock and gestured for Bella to escape. As she stepped onto the damp fire escape, the cool night air washed over her, laced with the metallic tang of rain. It was a stark contrast to the stale, gas-filled atmosphere of the lab, and for a moment, she simply breathed, savoring the feeling of being alive, but the reprieve was short-lived. Back on solid ground, the weight of the situation settled on her shoulders like a leaden cloak. They needed to get help, to warn someone of the invisible threat lurking within the lab. Mark, his voice tight with urgency, suggested they head to the security office. There should be a spare set of keys for the main entrance, he explained. We can call the police from there, as they hurried through the deserted corridors. The silence was broken only by the sound of their footsteps and the pounding of Bella's heart. Every rustle, every creak, sent a jolt of nervous energy through her. The darkness, once familiar, now held unseen dangers, the lingering remnants of Patrick's presence. Reaching the security office, they found the door thankfully unlocked. Mark fumbled with a key ring, his hands shaking slightly. Finally, a click, and the door swung open. Relief flooded Bella, a temporary haven from the terror, but as they stepped inside, a chilling sight met their eyes. The security monitors, once displaying the sterile white walls of the lab, were now a chaotic mess of static. A single word, scrawled across the screen in a skeletal hand, seemed to mock them. Gotcha. Mark's breath hitched. The fear in his eyes mirrored Bella's own. Patrick wasn't just contained anymore. He was actively interfering, playing a deadly game of cat and mouse. Panic threatened to consume Bella. But a spark of defiance ignited within her. She wouldn't let Patrick win. Not here, not now. Taking a deep breath, she forced herself to focus. The server room, she exclaimed, remembering the backup system for the security cameras. There might be a way to access the footage from there. Mark, nodding grimly, followed her as she dashed out of the office. The server room, located deep within the bowels of the building, was a labyrinth of blinking lights and whirring fans. But Bella knew her way around, having spent countless hours here in the past. They navigated the maze of cables and processors, the hum of the machinery a constant drone in the background. Finally, Bella reached the main server. Its screen displaying a complex array of code. With trembling fingers, she began to hack into the system, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Time seemed to warp and twist, each second an eternity. Finally, a triumphant beep echoed in the room. The screen flickered to life, displaying a grainy black and white feed from inside the lab. There, in the center of the room, a distorted figure writhed in the darkness. It was Patrick, his unseen form a chilling presence. He seemed to be searching. Bella watched in horror as Patrick's distorted form inched towards the ventilation system. A cold dread settled over her. He knew about the gas. He was coming for a way out. Mark, watching the scene unfold with a grim expression, grabbed Bella's arm. "We need to warn them," he said urgently. "The police, the fire department, anyone who can help." Bella nodded, understanding the urgency. They couldn't risk letting Patrick escape the lab and unleash his terror on the world. But how could they warn anyone with everything compromised, the building itself potentially a death trap? As despair threatened to engulf her, a thought flickered in Bella's mind. The backup footage, it could be their only weapon. With a renewed sense of purpose, she turned back to the server screen. "We can stream this footage," she announced, her voice laced with determination. "To the internet, to anywhere we can. If we can't get help, maybe we can expose him." Mark's eyes widened with understanding. It was a desperate gamble, but it was their only hope. Working together, they set up a live stream.